Been a long 2 weeks, but finally managed to start a stream. And a little bit late by an hour, but I want to get back to streaming. Music, so we're all good. Stream back on, and started. November 22nd, 11:30 a.m. Frame for adjudicature, defendant's law and chamber number 5. Still cannot pronounce that word right. Judicature. That's probably the word. I don't know. Excellent work, Ryusuke. That was superb. Was in my mouth the entire time. Yeah, trials are intense. I never want to be part of one. It was almost unbelievable. I mean, look at you in there. You were drenched in sweat, your eyes popping, your knees knocking, and you were grinding your teeth. It was a grim sight, but before I know it, you started finding inconsistencies in the testimonies. I think you might have a natural talent for being a lawyer. Forget it, it's terrifying. If I get through this, I don't ever want to see the inside of a courtroom again. Anyway, looks like we've exposed your phantom lady at last. Yeah. Miss Giselle Brett, a student from Great Britain, is she? That's what I was trying to tell everyone from the start. Dr. Wilson wasn't alone. There was a young woman with him, like I've been saying all along. Yes, you have, haven't you? I might not be overly confident in a courtroom, but my powers of observation are one thing I am sure of. Yes, I can see that. So, about this gentleman. Thanks to our detective friend, she was hastily escorted away from the scene, it seems. Did you see what happened with that? No, I didn't see any of it. I was just on my way out of the restaurant myself. Ran on the floor next to Dr. Wilson's table, and noticed there was a gun lying on the floor. Just after I bent down and picked it up, a bang! A gunshot! I didn't have time to think about where the sound of the gunshot had come from. The waiter ran over to me, looking as white as a sheet, and he bundled me into some sort of small pantry next to the kitchen. Fast thing by a detective. He approached his suspect without a moment's delay. Yes, and because I'm shut in the pantry, I have no idea what happened outside in the dining area. There you are. Well done, both of you. Well, it seemed I was right. The pair of you make a standing team. You exceeded my expectations, I have to say. Yes. Since you planned this from the start, you arranged things so I wouldn't be able to act as lawyer in his trial. Our modern country is still in its infancy. Our justice system even more so. Which is why I firmly believe that we need to send our brightest young stars overseas to learn all they can. I want to avoid a situation that may have resulted in your study toward the Great Band being cancelled. Well, it makes no difference. Otherwise, if I'm the kind of man who can't help his best friend avert the worst crisis of his life, I shouldn't be wasting everyone's time by going to study overseas anyway. What? What are you saying, Kazuma? So that's your stand. I'm afraid you feel that way. Kazuma! Well then, it looks like it all comes down to you, young man. To me? Yes. You need to prove your innocence and uncover what really took place in that restaurant. I must say, I very much want to know the truth. After all, I have a personal connection to this case. Said personal connection will not become apparent for a very long time. Come to think of it, you said the same thing earlier this morning, didn't he? Don't mind me asking, Professor. Do you know the victim? Yes. Yes, I did. As you're probably aware, Dr. John H. Wilson was a visiting professor at UMA. And it was I who invited him. Oh! I see. I didn't know that before. Anyway, we're about to go into battle. The victim was a university professor from Great Britain, and a well-known one at that. Naturally, your government is looking to identify and punish the culprit as quickly as possible. But let's not forget who we're going up against. The gentlewoman whose involvement in the police bureau went to extraordinary lengths to hide. Yes, I'm sure the prosecution will be using every tool at their disposal to quash your case. But I have no doubt that you pair will put up a good fight, right to the last. Best of luck. Thank you. Now then. I need you good air. Are you for fear at work? There's something I think we may need. Good luck, Kazuma-sama. Defendant Naruhodo! Court recess is over. Please make your way back inside the courtroom at once. Let's get back to it, partner. Let's go in there and deal a decisive blow before those old fossils knows what hits them. Kazuma? What? I kicked you, really. What for? Well, if you hadn't said if you hadn't said you believe me, then I'm fairly sure I have been found guilty by now. I have faith in you. As a lawyer and as a friend. Coming from you, that means a lot. If I'm found guilty in this trial, he's really going to give up on his dream of studying abroad. That's the kind of true friend he is. So this isn't just my battle anymore. whoever we're up against, we absolutely cannot afford to lose. Alright then, I'll save the thank yous for after the trial. Treat me to one of those sukiyaki meals I like from UMA Cafeteria on University Street. With an extra large portion, of course! Court hereby resumes the trial of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Prosecutor Achi, you have used Mantis subpoena to witness? Yes, Your Excellency. You go on. And thanks to a certain young stripling, the prosecution is now under rather painful scrutiny from the government. Sorry. It's fault for trying to hide her. It's not his fault, but let the government scrutinize. That's their job. Nothing to worry about. It's highly unlikely that the good relations we forged with Great Britain will emerge from this trial unscathed. Will you still think it's nothing to worry about when the new treaty breaks down and our new nation founders? Nice. Nation founders, not founders. Again, terribly sorry. What are you apologizing for? If the friendship between our nations is really so fragile, then the treaty isn't worth the paper it's written on. You really have nothing to worry about, Ryunosuke. What do you mean? A secret trial, anxiety over some foreign government opinions, a bungled investigation, missing witnesses? Is this what our nation's justice system is? Is this the Supreme Court of Japan or of England? Shut up! Shut up! You jumped up, rookie boy! You and your friend know nothing! Yes, but it's the second stream, so that's why it's part 2. Or should it be part 1 continued? Nothing of the situation our nation finds itself in. By aligning ourselves with its great world power, we'll become strong. Diplomacy has never been more critical. Steady political maneuvering is what will secure our futures. I won't deny that I'm no expert. I'm just a student and one who could arguably study harder too. But standing here now in our Supreme Court, there's one thing that I feel very strongly. A country that fails to uphold the truth in its justice system is a country with no future at all. Well said, Ryunosuke, despite the wide-eyed look of terror. You little brats! Thank you, Counsel. This court is the pinnacle of our nation's justice system and exists solely for the pursuance of truth. With that in mind, the trial will now resume with the next witness taking a stand. A visiting student from Great Britain, Miss Giselle Brecht. Yes. Your Excellency! Ah, what delight it is to welcome such a fine gentlewoman to Japan, and from such a distant land. Tea! Someone bring English tea! In England, no discussions take place without tea. This isn't a normal discussion! out in court. And it's not normal court, but true. No idea. So, can we possibly trouble you to state your name and occupation for the court? Of course. Not you! My name is Satoru Hosonaga! We weren't asking you, you bum! I have been working undercover as the head waiter at the Carnival Bowling Group. Yes, we know about you already. Inspector Hosonaga, what are your manners? In England, it's always ladies first. Ignoring the fact that we know his name and occupation already. Is that true? No idea. More importantly, a little earlier today you said something to me. You said your powers of observation are the one thing you're sure of. Oh yes, I think I did, didn't I? Yet your description for this amazing sight was simply a woman. Sorry, Ryusuke. Powers of observation aside, your powers of description are sorely lacking. Guilty. But dear lady, once again, we may trouble you for your name and occupation, please. This is the Queen's English. Looks like cursive on screen, but I'm terribly sorry, dear lady, but what? This lady says her name is Isabel Brett. She comes from London, England. She's a visiting research student currently enrolled in UMA University's medical faculty. Oh my! What a rare treat to hear the deluxe tones of the delightful language of the British people. I'm afraid I don't understand a word you said, but it was as beautiful as a hummingbird's song. As far as I can tell, the detective is translating her words faithfully enough. Yes, I agree. You obviously do fine English, Kazuma. Her English doesn't rile you at all, does it? Nor you. You've clearly been paying attention in your English classes, Ryunosuke. Thanks, the beautiful lady, for taking a stand. Now, I may trouble you to confirm something, Miss Brett. 3 days ago, at a restaurant called Carnival, a grim murder took place. The court has been led to believe that you were dining there with the victim, Dr. Wilson, at the time. Yeah, every person in the Payne family and lineage are ass kissers. They're ass kissers to authority, they're ass kissers to innocent looking women, and so on. Thankfully, we won't have to see this guy again until the first trial, the second game. Because this collection is a 2-gamer. Is that correct? I'm not even gonna try to mimic that because I don't even know how it would sound. He says, yes. All of that is just saying yes? Are you kidding me? All of that is yes. is absurd! So even though she's studying here in Japan, she can't speak any Japanese. She'd like to apologize for disappearing from the scene. She says that she was due to make a presentation at the university, so she had to leave immediately. That's her story! But we're here to figure out, find out, if that's actually true or not. Interesting. When you're the one who engineered her escape, I was just following special orders from the Bureau. Well, now, dear lady, would you be so kind as to cast your eyes over this photographic print? Seeing as you're so unfortunately present at the scene of the crime, could it be that your resplendent eyes caught sight of the wicked perpetrator, perhaps? And this is where she accuses Ryunosuke, because... yes. Apparently, it was a very frightening and sorrowful sight. I mean to say, yes, it would appear the lady did witness the crime. The very moment when the accused, standing right there in his courtroom, shot the victim in cold blood. Order in the court! Did you hear that, Your Excellency? Here we have absolutely conclusive witness statement! Yeah, the other conclusive statements weren't conclusive either, and neither is this. But it's our job to point out how it's not actually conclusive. Well, looks like it's clear now. Clear who our real enemy is. Unfortunately, I'll have to ask you to formally testify, if you please. Kindly tell the court the exact nature of this frightening and sorrowful sight you described. I had arranged to meet for a slightly late luncheon with Dr. Wilson that day. The professor was unable to eat, so I ordered for myself only a beef steak. After a while, the accused came over to greet the professor, and they got into a fierce argument. Then, not long afterwards, the accused took the professor's gun and shot him right before my eyes. I don't carry a gun myself, so honestly I couldn't have been the culprit. This is just damning to movies. There. You can't just blurt it out like that. No, I didn't have any kind of argument with Professor at all. Why, you filthy wretch! Look at you, you black-hearted blackguard, and look at this Snow White angel. She's not an angel, and you're going to see why. I'm sure even a dark-minded scoundrel like you can imagine whose words the court is going to believe. You're still making the same mistake, Ryunosuke. You mustn't blurt out when you're goaded like that. It's the lesson you need to learn. Please, so annoying. Of course, I was at the scene as well. I took statements from this lady and the two witnesses who testified before and pulled back to the bureau. It was decided that Miss Brett was not involved, so let her go. She's absolutely involved. The last two witnesses were completely worthless, however. Well, even so, on the day in question, the lady was wearing the same outfit as she is today. As you can see, there's nowhere about a person where she can conceal a firearm. I would think she could hide a gun almost anywhere in an outfit if she wanted to. Useless unless and until the precise location where the witness is to have hidden a weapon can be shown. This is moot. There are no pockets in my outfit. I have nowhere to hide a gun. Those are the witness's own words on the matter. That's ridiculous. If only I was allowed. You know, I totally passed by this statement with Ryunosuke! Ryunosuke! That's not a sentence you want to think or utter! Oh my god! Don't think we're doing anything rash, Ryunosuke. I didn't fire the gun I picked up. There must have been another gun there that day. Right about that. Which means this lady was hiding a gun somewhere. Yes, that's what we have to prove now. To do so, we will need to pull our testimony apart. The defense may cross-examine the witness. Oh yes, Your Excellency. I never got an argument with the professor. All I did when I noticed him was go over and say hello. Please, don't get angry with me. No. I wasn't directing that retort at you. It was meant for the lady next to you. But anyway, as I said, I did not argue with the professor. I'm afraid your words are in vain. Sorry. Miss Brett does not appear to speak Japanese. I know she can. She's just... No, of course not. Ass kisser. Japanese is such a cumbersome language anyway. English is the future. We must all... We must all Supiku and Garushu. I wonder if the prosecution will feel that way forever, or only in the presence of a beautiful woman. Well, that beautiful woman is telling blatant lies with a completely straight face. Find something that will unravel her testimony, no matter how seemingly it may be. The next time we got up after that was when I finished my talking syrup to leave. After the accused took the professor's gun and shot him right before my eyes. Like I said, I did not shoot that gun. And like I said, there's no point repeating that assertion over and over. Well, I wasn't expecting to be attacked from my own side. Nevertheless, defendant, you can't deny that when the shot rang in the restaurant, you had a gun in your hand. Yes, he did. Well, yes, that's true, but all I did was pick up the gun I saw on the floor of the professor as I was leaving the restaurant. Yes, there's someone much closer to the victim this time, behind the lady in the stand. That would be a dirty Ron Scoundrel. Dirty? Your baseless accusations could very well cause an international incident, boy! It seems to me that your accusation is just as baseless as ours. What nonsense. Nonsense. Lately is merely stating what she saw. And this is already an international incident as far as I'm concerned anyway. Yes! Somebody was saying that, but can you prove it? Absolutely. I verified it personally. You verified it? Yes. Immediately after this, I checked to make sure the lady was not carrying a weapon. I distinctly remember her saying, I'm not. That's all you did? You just asked her? Surely you carried out a physical search, Inspector. No. Why there's not? The Honorable English gentleman clearly stated that she did not possess a weapon. She could be lying! There's also no need for any further probing into the matter. Yeah, they could be lying. Or there was no permission given for any further probing into the matter, perhaps. When has the police ever needed permission for anything? Besides... Okay. The police do need permission for things, but for conducting suspicious searches? Or like, conducting searches of probable cause? Think what you will, but if you're going to continue with this preposterous claim that the refined lady is stealing a farm, the prosecutor demands that you support your assertion with facts. In other words, he wants evidence. No. Evidence we do not currently have. The lady wishes to point out that of course she wanted to stay and assist with the investigation, but she was in a hurry to give a presentation at the university, so she was compelled to leave. Not to mention the fact that your office had told you to get the woman out of there. No, not get her out of there, I just urged her to leave. That's the same thing! The lady would like to point out that she in no way meant to run away from the scene of the crime. This is why she's only too happy to cooperate and testify here in court today, of course. She would never have cooperated or testified today. Only kind of soon if you just admit when the game is up. You please have the courtesy to pay attention when I'm goading you. You got an argument with the professor at the end of which you shot him. Which is an out and out, totally unfounded lie. Still, her statement is very compelling. After all, she's an elegant, refined, young, and beautiful gentlewoman from Great Britain. In stark contrast to you, dressed from head to toe in a dull black school uniform. I'm just exactly the same as you are, except for flapping red ribbons and the sharp katana. Well, anyway, this is our only chance to expose her testimony as the fiction that it is. If we can't do that, the trial is over. Even you, with your thick skin, must be able to feel the murderous looks you're getting from around the room. Only too well. I feel half dead already. And the fact that I can't see a single inconsistency in her testimony isn't making me feel any better either. First thing to do is press on any of her statements that seem even slightly off. Do that, and an opening will present itself. I promise you. Equals the true face of this exotic foreigner that's hiding behind a mask. That's what I should be aiming for in this cross-examination. I'll just get... After 2 PM, in fact. That really quite late lunch, isn't it? You don't keep up with the latest fashions from Britain, do you? Late luncheons are in vogue, isn't that right? No. Ugh. A decisive English no has quite a sting to it. This gentleman was currently working in the victim's research laboratory, it seems. So it was apparently a daily occurrence that they would lunch together. But a day in question, the victim had another appointment in the clinic first. Yes, which we can prove for the medical report that was made as evidence earlier. That's right. Brett and the victim went to lunch following the victim's treatment, which is why it was so late. Yes. Proof block, so there's no use to it. Such wonderful logic. So it was shining dimpled English intelligence this fine gentleman is. So you both arrived in the restaurant. I'll be next. I was unable to eat, so I ordered for myself. Only a beef steak. Need to of it. Is this Brett aware of that fact? It seems so, yes. She heard that the professor was to have some dental treatment. That would mean... that was you who ate the steak pictured here? Is that right, Miss Brett? That's right, yes. The printing of there shows the table exactly as it was left before or after the horrifying events. That definitely was left? Dear me, what a harrowing experience! To travel to a distant land on the far side of the world and be embroiled in such a tragic incident. Have no fear, my dear lady! I swear I'll crush the evil fiend that has subjected you to this terrible plight. Nothing to eat or drink at all? That's right. Other than some carbonated water. Just water. Yes, the professor was unable to eat, but he had been given permission to drink water. So it appears that the diners toasted their lunch with a glass of water each. They each raised a glass of carbonated water. It's the only thing I have to go on. Oh, how fascinating. Do tell us, what is this profound bearing? The significance of the statement will become apparent when the time is right. The defense calls for the witness' last statement be fully added to testimony. Well, sidestep, counsel. Very well, Miss Brett. Now repeat what you just said. Be added to your official testimony. Gladly, she said. Which one? The significance will become apparent when the time is right. I could really use that phrase. I hope there are some more useful tips you're picking up from this experience than that, Ryunosuke. I think this is where I present that, because there's only one glass instead of two. Yes! Nope. Did you? Yes. Being the waiter, I poured the 2 glasses myself. I remember doing so. That you're actually a detective. And the beef steakhouse for you, Miss Brett? Lee says that she heard it was not customary to eat beef here until Japan opens doors to the world. Yes, that's true. But what a frightful place! This is the lady's opinion. I've heard it's not customary to eat sashimi in Great Britain. Now that's frightful! Every country has its own cuisine. As long as people have food to eat, what doesn't matter what it is. Yes, true. Think of it. Sorry, it was much more of a shock than the first time I tried beef. What's with the stare? We need to pounce on even the slightest thing now. Because you never know what might lead us to our goal. Our goal, turning style around. Understood, Kazuma. Maybe again. No, that's it. Oh boy. It's not cheating! It's a valid strategy! It would be cheating if I looked up the answer. That's what I did before, but it was the wrong statement. Or maybe I didn't. Maybe I thought I presented it at that statement, but I guess I presented it before I pressed, but now it's right. Okay, that's it. Let me just confirm something, please. It's to do this photographic print. Just a short while ago, you spoke of this print showing the victim's table of the crime scene. That it was exactly as it was left. I'll go be right back. I'm gonna have to get some water. That's correct, Lady says. I'm back. Well, that is, it's odd, very odd. Dear me! What's odd is the defense's ability to express itself. Miniusuke, what is it about the print that looks odd to you? Well, obviously, it's not the cheers! I mean, it is, but... No, the fact that there's only one glass picture instead of two. The cheers. Miss Brett just told us that she and the professor said cheers over a glass of water. I think it probably was before that I presented the picture before pressing. And that's true. Then there should be two glasses on the table, not one. Right, Council? There's only one glass picture here. Are you supposed to be impressed by this nitpicking over Mitai? I mean, if you're going to do cheers with someone, you need more than one glass. What possible difference does the presence or absence of a glass make on the case? Algae doesn't know what cheers is.
Objection!
Mitai, you say. I'm probably pronouncing that word wrong. Could it be the detective here removed the glass from the table to conceal the lazy's presence? Of course not. I would never do something so reckless. But there should have been two glasses on the table. Or are you going to try to tell me that you can only claim with one? You're quite right. I certainly took two glasses to the table. Becker, what did the lady say? It would seem that it was Miss Brett who took the glass from the table. That is removing evidence from the crime scene, and it should be a felony. What? It's also terrifying, everything that happened. I panicked and thought I should try to hide the fact that I've been there at all, she's saying. Good gracious. Sorry. There, as I assured the court before, this is no conscience at all. It's just, what's at all? Oh, please. You must remember that this student had just murdered this lady's lunching companion before her very eyes. Can you stop saying it as if it's fact? Blame her for concealing a glass or two in her state of disarray. It's a removing evidence from a crime scene. You're going to forgive her for every crime? That's absurd. Oh, really? So do we take it you are not going to accuse this vulnerable, young, and beautiful woman of mischief? She removed evidence from a crime scene. It's already mischief. No, this can't be put down to mischief. I'd like to know. And how the lady took the glass from the scene. It would seem that she slipped it into a small handbag she was carrying. A handbag, you say? Yes, Your Excellency. Small, handheld pouch commonly carried by well-to-do women in England. So, the beautiful lady has very graciously explained how and why she removed the glass from the scene now. Still felony to remove evidence from the crime scene. However, the fact remains that this glass has absolutely no bearing on the case. And this student has been trying to confuse the court with logical reasoning. But in the end, it comes to nothing. No more pretentious accusations. You've wasted enough time already. And you've wasted enough of our lives. Some pain for this woman. Indeed, the lady has offered a satisfactory explanation as to why she removed this glass. I think henceforth we consider the matter to have no bearing on the case. Counsel for the defense, are you in agreement? Well, I don't know really. If we'll pursue this matter further, you're going to need to show us some deeper significance. Yes, you're right. So she took the glass away in her handbag. If there's a deeper significance there, it's... Wait, Lily put the glass in her handbag, you say? Yes, do try to keep up. It's already been explained to the court that all Englishwomen carry handbags of small items. A little while ago, Miss Brett stated the following. There are no pockets in my outfit. I have nowhere to hide a gun. But, what she forgot to mention was her handbag. Which it would be perfectly possible to conceal a gun. Oh. As you're going to find out, conceal isn't the word one should use. You're right. Well done, partner. I had a feeling you'd pick up on that too. What are you insinuating, you vile blackguard? It's really very simple. The gunshot was heard when the defendant picked up the gun from the restaurant floor. As he didn't fire that gun, we can deduce that there must have been another firearm at the scene. A true murder weapon, if you will. You can't seriously be suggesting... Inspector Hosonaga. Yes? Did you or did you not search Miss Shell's handbag on the day of the murder? No, sir, I did not. Did not need to inspect it because her handbag is special, unique, as I thought. In other words, another gun, the one that's actually used to kill the professor, could have been hidden in Miss Brett's handbag. No! Hold on. What's the meaning of this, Inspector? The meaning of what? Professor Alfie. Let's get Alfie. Why on earth did you not have the lady open her handbag and show you the contents at the time? Thanks to your bungling incompetence, now she has to endure these uncomfortable accusations. Good work, partner. Now we have a chance to expose a real woman behind a mask. You think so, Cosmo? Well, what's our situation? Clearly you have no faith in the police. As I said, I did not search the lady's handbag after the shooting. Simply because It was unnecessary. Unnecessary in what way? Thanks, the student lawyer, really. I have a piece of evidence here that I completely forgot about. The photographic print. This photographic print. This print is of a photograph that I thought would be prudent to take immediately after the shooting. I can see it clearly shows Miss Brett's handbag. Why, never. You see right through to what's inside. That's right. Apparently, menstrual bags like these are the height of fashion in London at the moment. The contents are very clearly visible. Exactly. So there's no need to search the lady's handbag. If there had been a gun inside, it would have been immediately obvious. As you can see, there's nothing to imply Miss Brett's guilt here. Thank you for helping me prove that, Narhado-san. Victor Zamago, you will submit that friend as evidence at once. Currently, Your Excellency. The only thing that's worth noting of this is not really the handbag, but this. Okay, that's done now. Cancel. The court has now been shown considerable evidence. As photographic print testament to court record appears to have no further significance, I'm satisfied there is no longer any room for doubt in this matter, and I must make my ruling. Indeed, there's only one to go conclusion. That the pathetic rookie slumped over the bench before us is the only possible perpetrator of this crime. No, just when I thought I was beginning to turn things around, I'm in a worse situation than I was at the start. Kazuma? I'm sorry, I'm really scared. Now that the cross-examination was over, there's no way to force the trial to continue. What, you mean this is it? I say, you put quite a fight for a rookie student. But the weak are meat, while the strong eat. I want to throw that fan right at your face! You're wasting your time. There's no way to defeat true justice. This isn't true justice! In fact, you can chew on to your heart's content from the inside of your cell. This can't be happening. Am I really going to be found guilty of a crime I didn't commit? And Kazuma, his dream of going to study in Great Britain will slip through his fingers. Kazuma, what? Is there really no chance now of turning this trial around? You heard the judge. There's nothing about that last photograph detective produced that we can contest. No basis on which we can argue for trial to continue. Very well. I'll now proceed immediately to the ruling. Seems we'll be able to report to the British government on time after all. It's Smuggler. We just gotta know how to. Having considered all of the evidence placed before me, I hereby find you Wait, Your Excellency. Ryusuke? I don't think he can rule this case yet. The immatureness is getting tedious. When Excellency deems that trial's over, he gives his ruling. That is the most basic protocol of the courtroom.
Yes!
Excellency, just a moment ago you said this. That this photographic print you just made appears to have no further significance. There is no longer any room for doubt in this matter, and I must make a ruling. Now that means if there was a problem with the evidence, of significant detail I mean, then ruling on this case at the time would be out of the question. This is blatantly straw clutching! Look at this photographic print! Hey, shows as a handbag the gentlewoman is carrying on the day in question. And you need better glasses, because there's something important there. There'd be no problem with this evidence. You better know what you're doing, Ryusuke. I understand your judgment, counsel. Certainly, the new evidence made by a detective has not yet undergone court scrutiny. However, I fail to see how we can glean any new information from this handbag. Yeah, my thoughts exactly. Really, the prosecution is becoming tired of this rookie's desperate wheezes. Yes, I am desperate, but this isn't a wheeze. There's something about this photograph which just doesn't seem right. If only I could put my finger on it. Very well, I will grant the defense one final opportunity. What? But be warned that if I'm unsatisfied by your response here, the trial will be over with immediate effect. Better make yourself clear. Yes, Your Excellency. So, take another look at the photograph print Inspector Plasaga submitted before. You'll identify for the court where in this print we see the significant detail in which you have alluded.
Yes!
Look at this here. There's a very unusual mark on the victim's wrist. That is true. It looks almost like a burn of some description.
I'll take it!
Dear me, I was pondering what new piffle you would come out with. A burn, you say? And the victim's wrist? Really has nothing whatsoever to do with the magnificent lady's handbag. Yes, that is a burn mark. You're right. Go on, Inspector. The police coroner also noted when he was performing the post-mortem examination. It seemed unlikely to cause of death, so he didn't note it in his report. What did I tell you? In any case, we have no idea when the victim suffered this burn, do we? No possible way of knowing either. The more I look at it, the more I find myself intrigued by the curious shape of this mark. However, as prosecutor actually points out, unless a firm connection to this case can be shown, I cannot allow any further time to be spent on the precise details of this burn. Excuse me, Your Excellency. It would seem Miss Brett has a lunch appointment with the Dean and other university staff. She would like to know if she may be excused from the stand now. Oh, of course, dear lady. We shan't hold you up any longer. I'm quite sure His Excellency is about to give his final ruling anyway. What's your thinking on this? We're gonna escape. In this case, to be honest, I'm not really sure. But if I don't keep pushing, then it's all over. So I was thinking I should keep digging and digging in the hope that I might uncover something useful. Yes, you're right. I am? If we can just link that burn to the case, if we can do that, we might be able to prise this shutting door back open again. Just give up, Counsel. You can't possibly hope to do that. Indeed, I'm afraid that without evidence, I can't allow you to pursue was little more than conjecture. What if we had evidence? Evidence that would irrefutably link the burn on the victim's wrist to the case? Can you allow it? I would, yes. To tell the truth, I didn't notice that burn. But as soon as you pointed it out, what I did notice was the color draining from Miss Brett's face. Really? I have to find some link between that burn and the case. It's a moment of truth. It's time to find some evidence that proves what that burn really means. What's this, Counsel? Yet another print? Yes, Your Excellency. I believe photographic prints are an amazing invention. When we humans look at things, we miss things. But in a photograph, things we may have overlooked at the time are recorded forevermore. Don't hurry up, rookie. What are you trying to say? To inconvenience this poor lady any further really would be quite inexcusable. Actually, we may need you to stay with us a little longer if you don't mind, Miss Brett. You see, it's very clearly visible in this other photograph. How did the victim come to have an unusually shaped burn on his wrist? Reason is recorded here forevermore. What? How? You can't fool me for little bluffs, boy! If that's your game, then let's see how it plays out. Show the court exactly what you mean. What is in this photograph that explains the reasoning for the victim's burn?
Yes!
Beef steak? Actually, the point is the middle plate the steak was served on. The plate? Your Excellency, are you alright? And see, there's an emblem on the plate. I would guess it's some sort of trademark of Le Carnival. The emblem on the plate. And the victim's burn. are exactly the same shape. Ryusuke, you genius! You're spot on! Which means... the victim must have suffered this burn while he was present at the restaurant. But even if that is the case, we can't know if it happened on a day in question or not. It could have been the day before, or day before that, and more. It could happen at some other unrelated time. Well,
Objection!
Sadly, Professor Ouchi, the chances of that are extremely slim. Thanks. Why? The outline of the burn is clearly discernible. Such a serious injury would have caused quite commotion in the restaurant. Wouldn't you agree, Inspector Hosonaga? I can't imagine having missed such a terrible disaster, certainly. But I would say, looking at the picture of the wound, that it wasn't suffered very long ago. And although it's not a particularly large burn, it should be well defined, as the defense just pointed out. This was no mild burn, that's for sure. Can you be more specific, Inspector? Well, let's see. If the plate was around 9 degrees centigrade, a burn like that would have taken around 3 seconds. It's inconceivable the victim wouldn't have let out screaming pain then. There's a particular reason why he did not. I've been investigating at the restaurant for several weeks already, but I've not heard anyone scream at all. As a head waiter of the Carnival, I can testify to that reputation. But you're a detective, not a waiter!
Yes!
There you have it. Something isn't right here. Yes, we're getting to that. As the detective said, anyone who burns themselves on a piping hot plate for 3 whole seconds will scream in pain. There's no question of that. And yet Inspector Hosonaga never heard the professor scream. Not on that day or any before it. That's right. And the strange thing is, on the day he was shot, I didn't hear him cry out either. What are you suggesting? Well, if the professor had carelessly had his wrist on the plate for anything like 3 seconds that day, that would be beyond careless, I think, Counsel. Then the rest of us in the restaurant, myself, the sergeant, and the old antique dealer, all of us would without any question have heard him scream. Wouldn't you agree, Prosecutor Ouchi? Well, yes, I suppose. So the question is, why didn't a single person hear Dr. Wilson scream? I also believe it. Okay, do you think... Can't really be true? I never dreamt we arrived at a conclusion like this, but I'm starting to think that maybe we've been led into a terrible trap. There's only one explanation I can think of to make sense of this apparent impossibility. Fascinating question. When he suffered the burn to his wrist, Dr. Wilson? No man could remain silent while his wrist was burning and piping hot plate for 3 whole seconds. That's purely impossible. Apart from in one particular situation. Counsel, are you suggesting... If the man is already dead. Already dead? Knowing what we know now, it's the only possible explanation. When the beefsteak was brought to Dr. Wilson's table that day, the professor was already dead. That's madness! Order, please! Counsel, explain this absurd notion at once! The victim was killed by a gunshot! That's right! That's absolutely right, Your Excellency! This is just another ridiculous ploy by the rookie student, but clearly he has no grasp of the facts!
Objection!
No, Prosecutor Algie, it's you who has no grasp of the facts. I beg your pardon? As soon as it became apparent that the victim had suffered the burn while at the restaurant, this whole case was turned upside down. Or have you not grasped that yet? Excellency, the court must hear from this witness again. If it's true, as we now believe, that the victim was already dead before the gunshot was heard, it's highly likely that Miss Brett knows something about it. Incredible. I certainly didn't anticipate this twist of events. I'm sorry to say, Miss Brett, that you'll have to forget your luncheon engagement. But Your Excellency! The justice system in our country may be in its infancy, but rest assured, all reasonable doubt must be dispelled before I'm prepared to pass judgment. Thank you, Your Excellency. What was that smile? Yes, of course. I mean, I'd be delighted to help. Especially if it helps relations between my country and yours. Ah, Miss Brett, you speak Japanese? Well, of course I do. I am studying your country after all. But then, why have you been speaking through an interpreter until now? My mother tongue, the Queen's English, is the most refined and elegant language in the world. As a gentlewoman, I try to avoid speaking in your vulgar tones as much as possible. Japanese isn't even a vulgar language. But it seems a man in this land possesses none of the chivalrous virtues of English gentlemen. So I can see that I shall have to lower myself to communicating with you all on your own level. Oh, well, you are the epitome of a true English gentlewoman. We are truly honored by this lavish consideration you so graciously afford us. I see. In that case, Miss Brett, I will now ask you to testify in your own words about the events leading up to the death of the victim, Mr. Wilson. So, we're finally going to hear her own words on the matter. Things are getting interesting, Ryunosuke. Unfortunately, I have no idea when the poor man burned just like that. Waiter brought my steaks and Prester and I raised our glasses in a toast. As far as I've heard, the post-mortem report showed no other possible cause of death besides a gunshot. If there's any other way a man's life can be taken without leaving a trace, please do show me. But of course, this country's inferior investigative techniques probably won't pick up on it anyway. That most captivating, beautiful testimony will go down in the Supreme Court's history. Thank you. He does it. I hope that is the last time I'll have to sully my lips with the coarse tones of your unbecoming tongue. Oh, forgive me. I do hope I haven't insulted anyone. Oh, not at all. It's a delight. Merely to hear you speak, dear lady. It seems very clear from your testimony that this boorish talk of the victim's burn is utterly irrelevant. How the fuck is it irrelevant? I was speaking be speaking to the country's Minister of Justice about what has happened here today. Minister of Justice? May that irritating little bully of a student be given the harshest punishment possible. Okay, is that her then? Well, you'll have to forgive the irritation, Miss Brett, and put up with the procrastination now. I expect you've noticed that this little bully of a student, as you put it, doesn't miss much. I'm sure I don't need to remind you, Kanto, that this will be your final procrastination in this trial. Fail to disseminate your problems with this testimony, I will be ruling on the case immediately. Is that clear? The slap of focus. Yes, Your Excellency. You may proceed. Cross-examination. Pressing and everything. But his hand was on the searing hot plate for at least 3 whole seconds! You can't not have noticed. You think so? Let me ask you something. Sorry. Ever since I arrived at this courtroom, and even still now, the fly on those unsightly black trousers of yours has been wide open! You can't not have noticed, can you? What fun! Yeah, I didn't realize! Your lady's absolutely right. As a friend, you've been embarrassed me as well as yourself, Ryunosuke. Why did you tell me? Dr. Wilson was a true English gentleman. He chose audible sounds over a vulgar scream. Can you tell my brain's managed such a thing? Yeah, okay, sure, but if you put yourself on a hot plate, you're screaming, whether you're a gentleman or not. Oh yeah, that's like my time. Oh my god. Here's my tiny brain.
Yes!
Well, I can't. Anyway.
Yes!
As you testified before, you were drinking carbonated water, is that right? Dr. Wilson was only permitted to drink water at that time, if you remember. Which explains why he ordered that drink, correct, waiter? Exactly as you say, sir. Although... Whether or not the professor actually drank any water when I delivered the steak to the table... I'm afraid I don't remember that. Damn you. I have enough English to understand that, at least. For the benefit of this court, it means... it does not! No, I think it means the exact opposite. Anyway... Oh, look at the report card again. Yes, I mean... Okay, nothing that.
Yes!
Still pressing everything. Yes, it's written here in the paperwork. Fatal hemorrhage from ballistic trauma. Yes! Luckily for all of us, a little burn on the wrist isn't going to kill us. The burn isn't what killed him, though. And as there are no other signs of trauma on the victim's body to indicate any other cause of death, it can have only been from the bullet from your gun that put an end to his innocent life. Yes, that's true. If I'd put it slightly, we wouldn't have been able to make a burn like that. And the victim burnt his wrist on the hot plate as soon as brought from the kitchen. They must have already been dead at that point. And yet, the fact is that the victim was killed by gunshot. We're trying to dispute that! Why would he burn himself? Because he's facing the wrong way, anyway. Until you're unable to show the court evidence to prove that, it's a complete waste of time. I concur. Prosecutor Ashi is right. No, he's not.
Yes!
Without leaving a trace. If someone is shot, or strangled, or stabbed, or thrown from a height, yeah, if someone is shot, if someone is shot, if they're strangled, there should be signs around the neck of laceration. If they're stabbed, there's a stab wound. Thrown from a height, what's the word? On the body that he fell from a great height. However, a person's life is taken. There are always telltale signs, telltale traces on the body. Quite right, dear lady. As our police force has thoroughly examined the body of the deceased, there can be no doubt. Not right, Inspector Tsunaga. As I've said, I always aim for a flawless investigation. There would be physical traces of all this cause of death, that's true, but maybe there's some other way of killing someone that doesn't leave a mark. If, heaven forbid, you doubt me, young man, you have to tell everyone how exactly you think the Professor did lose his life. Otherwise, I'm afraid your argument falls rather flat, doesn't it? Oh no, perish the thought! Calling such a sweet young lady's innocence into question? On my honor, I, Takatsuchi Ouchi, will cut down any who dare cast such aspirations. A way of killing someone leaves no trace. We need some evidence to back us up here. Yes, evidence.
Yes!
Inferior? What do you mean by that? In the land of the Great British Empire, the police store everything found at a crime scene for later examination. Other countries have followed this practice since then. It takes place in like early 1900s, I think, or 1800s. But in this country, you investigate once and that's the end of it. Is that so? Quite right! Well, Carnival is open for business as usual today. It's just days after the incident. Exactly, which means that even if the investigation takes a different direction, vital evidence may be lost. It doesn't even occur to your naive detectives to try to preserve the crime scene. I'm trying to be tactful about this as I can, you understand. Ah, killer blow! This lady's formidable as she is beautiful. He's actually admitting our police may be flawed. Perhaps Perfect Ouchie's finally starting to see sense. I very much doubt that. Still, there's something about what Miss Brett just said. There was a moment before when something didn't seem quite right. What do you think, Miss Gay? Yurusuke, that thing is going terribly! Wow, how much a pressure. Not turning up any new information. Oh. There's something. Yes, as I suspected. She's a tough witness. We need to find a way to break her testimony, or cost anything to you. Right away. Rest the Equator to help us find a chink in her armor. Kazuma. What? We escaped. There's one thing I noticed, something that's been bothering me. Bothering you? I mean, Miss Brett? Actually, no. About the person staying next to her, Inspector Hosonaga. Detective? Yes, he seemed to react a little strangely to Miss Brett's last statement. I was wondering if it might be significant, if it might present an opening, maybe. Alright, I have an idea. Try pressing her on that last statement one more time. If you think so, but this time, instead of targeting the woman herself, let's see what we can get out of the detective. Right then, what I was thinking. I'll find out soon enough, I suppose, once we press Miss Brand's last name again.
Yes!
We're not reading all that yet.
Wait.
Yes, there it is again. Detective's reaction is just the same as before. Why? Up until now, the detective has been in the stand. Miss Brett as her interpreter. But things are very different now. For this testimony, the detective is just listening to what Englishman has to say. This could be a golden opportunity. What do you mean? When people are actually testifying, you're usually very careful not to let anything slip. However, when they're listening to someone else speak, you'll find they often let their guard down. You're right, look at him. He's just looking at his own thoughts in his own hand. It's time to pursue the man in his train of thought. Sorry, pursue? I'll explain how to do it, Ryusuke. So, do witness marker. I know how this works. a moment, we're focused on Miss Brett. Who's the person actually making the current statement? Well, by moving the marker left and right with the D-pad, you can turn your attention to other people in the stand. While looking at the other ones, you'll be able to pursue them with the button. If you can catch the person at just the right time, we can cover some new information to pursue. If you ever notice a strange atmosphere amongst the people in the stand, take a good look around. Alright then.
Wait. Excuse me.
What's the meaning of this? I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to shock you. He really was lost in thoughts, deeply. Looked like you're thinking about something just now, Inspector. Well, haven't heard what you had to say? If there's something you'd like to say, please share it with the court. What is the meaning of this? It's the delightful Englishwoman who's testifying at the moment. If you can't find fault with her testimony, the examination should be over immediately. Oh, is that how it works? Absolutely not. The detective is in the stand, which makes him a valid witness. Yes, not to mention the fact that he's intimately involved in the case. Inspector Hosonaga. Yes? Do you have something to add in relation to the statement just made by Miss Brett? Well, yes, if you don't mind. I would like to speak. He's right. Our country's police practices are not as modern as those used in Great Britain. This is why Sutora Hasanaga, always strive to make every investigation involved in flawless. What do you really mean by that? I'll tell you what I mean. I won't have evidence lacking on my watch. I'm not afraid to take everything I can from the scene of the crime. It's preserving evidence, you see. I don't care if they call me a crime scene thief. I'm not ashamed of what I've done. Coughing fit. Alright, crime scene thief. Well, looks like the lady's remarks touch a nerve there. Take this for example. This is the bottle of carbonated water that I took to the victim's table on the day in question. And yes, it's lost all of its fizz, having been opened 3 years ago. Well, it was carbonated water! I don't care what anyone says! Yes, there's some left in the bottle, I can see it. One day our police force will be among the best in the world. The time is coming, I guarantee it! I can't say I can condone the witness's actions, but I do understand the sentiment. The court will accept the glass bottle of water as evidence. Before we continue, check it out. Labels written in a foreign language that I don't recognize. Do you know what it says, Kazuma? I think it's French. This must be very expensive water. Yes, but what does it say? That's what I was asking. Then go to France and ask! You could just say that you don't know. This cover is the last drink Beckwood ever had. It looks like there's a little left in the bottle, though it's just plain water now. No, I'm just sweating so much, I'm absolutely parched. What does I sip this to keep me going? No, Ryunosuke, you can't do that! For one thing, that's evidence. You can't go drinking evidence! Oh no, you're right. We don't know what would be inside, do we? You never cease to amaze me, Ryunosuke. More ways than one. I wonder, could there be anything in this water? What's the matter? You've gone quiet all of a sudden. I think I might have just worked something out. An interesting possibility. Brett, can you confirm this is indeed the bottle from which you drank on the day of the victim's death? Yes, it was that bottle. What was that about? She seemed to avert her eyes when she answered the judge's question. Very well, Counsel. You have resumed the cross-examination. Intro is fervor.
Yes!
What is this? The bottle of water? Actually, there's one method of killing a man without leaving a trace that comes to mind. Obviously, I'm referring to poison. Poison? On the day of his death, we know that Doctor wasn't drinking from his bottle of carbonated water. Could it be that there was poison inside? Could it be that the professor actually died after taking a sip from his glass? Order, order, order! And on that day, who was sitting at the same table as the professor and able to slip the poison into his drink? There's only one person who could possibly have done it. Chizal Brett, if it was you!
Objection!
It's outrageous to suggest such a thing without a scrap of evidence. You little rookie imbecile, have you considered the delicate situation a country finds itself in now? Have you forgotten that we have only just signed an accord of friendship with the British Empire? Have you even the vaguest inkling that your rash accusations could jeopardize the entire treaty? That is not a political arena. This is a trial to determine one individual's guilt with respect to one crime. What? The fact this woman is British makes no difference. We're here to determine the truth. If I may, I'll silence you forever for yeah. It is you who should be silent. Of course. Lady! Where did that come from? She just snapped. I'm afraid I may have spoken unfairly before. I offer most humble apologies. I'm sorry, my lady. To what are you referring? I described your police force as inferior, but no matter how inferior they may be, you still investigated this particular point thoroughly, I believe. This bottle, I mean, Inspector. Whether it contained poison or not? Of course. You did? Have you forgotten what my guiding principle is already? I strive for a flawless investigation every time. I don't believe it. Naturally, we tested the inside of the bottle and its contents. And what did you find, Inspector? Are your tests for every toxin that is available in this country at the present time? That particular wording is what's important here. every toxin currently available in Japan. Enough, you could find no trace of poison of any description in the bottle of carbonated water, Excellency. Doesn't necessarily mean there wasn't any poison in it, but they couldn't find a match. What? Are you sure? The tests were meticulously carried out by the chief coroner himself. Oh, no! I'm very grateful to all you Japanese. You've successfully established my complete innocence in this horrid affair. Thank you. But of course you're late. The pleasure is all ours. So sure. This can't be right. Everything falls into place if he was poisoned. Thank you, Council. I think that cross-examination has clarified everything. As prosecution have asserted, a shot to the chest from the gun is the only conceivable cause of death. Furthermore, accused who by his own admission is holding his weapon is the only possible culprit. I'm done for. The court wishes to apologize for the great inconvenience this has caused you, Miss Brett. Oh no, I'm just glad the matter is resolved. Not quite! That's fantastic! For proceeding, I must ask counsel for the defense. Do you have any further new evidence to present to court at this time? Kazuma? I'm sorry, Ryusuke. I have nothing more. Well, if you'll excuse me now, I really must be leaving. Please, wait. Isn't that... What's the meaning of this? Forgive me for intruding on court proceedings, Your Excellency. Sato Mikotoba, Judicial Assistant to Defense. Toba? My darkest hour, with nowhere left to go, she appeared like a bolt of lightning. And in her hand, she carried a small package, wrapped in a furoshiki cloth. We're not through yet. Still 2 hours. Well, I understand you're a judicial assistant to the defense, but why this sudden ingress into my courtroom? Ha! Judicial assistant and a woman no less? That's sexist, but Japan had its rules at the time, where women could not be in the courtroom unless they were witnesses. Rules state that females are not permitted into this court of law other than to testify. Yes, I fully understand. I asked only for 5 minutes of time. I have some vital evidence I must hand over to the defense. Ha! Too late, little girl. The trial has already been concluded. No, it has not. 5 minutes. I will not allow one more. Alright, Your Excellency! I am most grateful. Who guys are you? I'm sorry, there's no time. Please, simply accept this for now. What is this, a report about something? Written in English. It's Giselle Brett's research. Technically, it answers research and technically received from her, but she left it in Amiko's Toba's office. Amiko's Toba's office, I think. Therefore, it's Amiko Toba's. Wilson's? After the trial resumed earlier, I hurried back to the university. Went to Dr. Wilson's laboratory in the medical faculty and wasn't in and oh yes, that's right. Miss Brett was studying under Professor, wasn't she? So, does this research, whatever it is, have something to do with the case? I'm afraid I don't know. I haven't been able to listen to the proceedings of the trial myself. Oh, no, of course not. Special characteristics of Curar and its effects on human subjects. Interesting. Curar? What's that? I never heard that word before. After prosecution demands the immediate removal of this female trespasser from the courtroom. There was too little time for me to read in detail, but I've summarized what I could on notes just inside the cover. If you think that it could be valuable, please cast your eye over it. It's wonderful, thank you. Let's just read over it. Nonsense. A poison made from the bark of certain trees in the jungles of South America. Hunters of the region have used it since ancient times to incapacitate their prey. Its effects: instant paralysis of the entire body and subsequent death, even in minute doses. Route of entry: the above-mentioned effects occur when the poison enters the body through a wound, such as that inflicted by a blowpipe dart. Due to its ability to render the human body paralytic, it's believed that toxin could have application as an anesthetic. However, a solution for respiratory arrest caused as a result of the full body process must be found first, or patients would die of suffocation. We have had long enough, Council. We cannot take as much stress any longer. We can actually. Ask prosecution and defense now one last time. Does either side have any further evidence to present to the court? I presume not, but prosecution has made its case convincing enough already. Nothing more to add, Your Excellency. This guy, right options here. It really is our very last chance. Yes, I know. Your Excellency, the defense does have new evidence. The unyielding stare of a true Japanese warrior. Well, Miss Brett. Yes, Your Excellency? If you wouldn't mind, perhaps you could grace us with presence a little longer. It's a delightful invitation, but I'm afraid it's not so very long until tea time. I'll have to politely decline. Forgive me, Miss Brett. It seems I wasn't clear. I realized I was phrased as a question. However, I must ask you to treat that as an order. I said it many times before, but Japanese language makes no sense. Apologies, dear lady. Counsel, what is this new evidence that demands the court's attention?
Yes!
It shows no Brett. We understand you are studying under Dr. Wilson at Yuma University, doing research. Research by sheer coincidence, perhaps, into a deadly poison. What? Poison? Where are you going with this, Counsel? A toxin known as Curare, Your Excellency. Even the slightest amount of this deadly poison entering the body leads to instant death. Wait, what? What complete and utter nonsense! Curare, you say? I never even heard of it. You wouldn't have done. What do you mean? I mean that you wouldn't have heard of Curare before, for one very simple reason. It doesn't exist in our country. It doesn't exist? Correct. Which means, no matter what tests the police can do for toxins, they never identify Curare. Why? Because there's no test available here that can identify the presence of this highly deadly poison. Order! 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 Counsel, does this deadly poison truly exist? According to this report, authored by the visiting research student from England, Curare has been long used by the tribes people of South America as a poison to lace their arrows. It seems that it's responsibly well known among European doctors and scientists to lace their arrows. The report states that it is produced from the extract of a tree that grows deep in the Amazonian jungle, and it was first brought back to Europe at the turn of the century by the explorers. claims that animals shot by arrows laced with QR suffer instant death. Doesn't that sum it up, Miss Brett?
Objection!
Trumpery! These aspirations are utter trumpery! To start with, the victim had been administered with this so-called deadly poison, he wouldn't have been squirming and writhing in pain, and the other daughters would have surely noticed. That's true. What do you say to that, Spectre? Obviously, I would have noticed a disturbance like that. I don't remember anything like that either. I didn't notice the professor being any kind of pain. According to this, however, it's the other way around. What do you mean, the other way around? The very fact that the victim didn't show any visible signs of stress is evidence that cure was used. Explain yourself, Counsel. The moment the substance enters the person's system, it causes instant paralysis. In other words, afflicted victims lose all strength and are completely unable to move. Even if they were until agony, there would be no visible signs of pain at all. How terrible. Obviously, if a man had lost all strength in his muscles, he'd collapse on the floor. But with a chair under him for support, as Dr. Wilson did, the effects could possibly go largely unnoticed. Well, follow cause, that's just paralysis. I thought poison caused instant death. The full explanation is extremely unpleasant. The poison causes immediate paralysis, as I said, leaving the victim unable to move. But after a short time, the paralysis is so severe, it causes the muscles that control respiration to fail. Respiration. In other words, the actual cause of death is suffocation. And all the while, the victim is conscious and aware, just unable to move. That's hideous. To the observer, it would look almost like the victim was slipping peacefully into an endless sleep. But for the victim itself, its final moments would be a living hell. That is the true nature of this deadly career poison. It's suggesting that this final council actually contains a terrifying poison. This all aggravating, isn't it? If hitherto unknown poison for which there is no means of testing, will be a happy tale for the defense. If I may, all these facts. I think you're so clever, but you must be taught the matter. It is you who must be taught. Of course. Dear lady! So, this is how you Japanese behave, is it? What? You steal another's honest hard work, and then announce the results as if you discovered them. Yet, but you're one that used the poison, knowing you could get away with it because it would be found. I'm appalled! What a loathsome act! Well, Miss Brett, the feeling is mutual. What do you mean? Capitalizing on the ordinary circumstances of an innocent man to frame him for a heinous crime? That really is a loathsome act. Wouldn't you agree? Enough of this. I, for one, refuse to accept it. No one cares what you think, ouchie. The idea of some poison that doesn't even exist in the great component of Japan is breaking the rules. So is murder. What's so funny? Oh, excuse me, Your Excellency. Yes, Miss Brett? May I borrow that bottle for a moment, please? Well, yes, I don't see, why not? I just want to point out. The second part, round of entry. The effects occur when it enters through a wound. If there is no wound, then there's no poison. For an Englishwoman such as myself, this whole affair is a racial comedy. The low police games and these foolish courtroom antics, it's laughable really. I'm getting bored of it all now. Time for the games to end. Cheers. No sparkle left at all. How appropriate for a shabby affair. She thinks she's proving a point. The way she is, but goodness, whatever is the matter? We all look quite stunned. So, no cure. The bottle is clean. Is that what you're trying to say? Look quite incredulous, little boy, but of course, that's the simple truth. Thank you for presenting the findings of my research so concisely here in this grand venue. Most kind. Thank you, waiter. Now then, Your Excellency. Yes, Miss Pratt? I should like to be excused now, please. I think I gave more than enough of my time for the furtherance of friendship between our countries. You're most gratified of all the assistance you have given. This doesn't make sense. There had to have been poison in that bottle. How did she swallow a whole glass and live to tell the tale? I don't understand it. Well, I suppose there's nothing else. This little Far Eastern charade will make for an interesting conversation at the next party I attend in London. There has to have been poison in that bottle. Doesn't there? But there can't have been, because otherwise she would over dead. Come on, Ryusuke. We have all the clues now. That bottle of water. Are you blind? There's no possible way about... That's right. Which rather complicates your argument, I think. I believe that complication can be explained. How, exactly? Oh, if that's truly intends to assert this claim, then I must ask you to support the assertion with evidence. Well, explain how Wiz is able to consume this supposedly poisoned water unscathed.
Yes!
It's right here in Miss Brett's own research report. That's not a valid explanation. No. After all, you don't speak English. The report is utter gibberish. You've been hearing a lot about this crab poison. And it's left me curious about something. Oh, Council? Well, it sounds as though indigenous hunters have been using this poison for years and years. Place the head of the arrows that they shoot whenever prey they're hunting. So you've been led to believe, yes. And the point of hunting is to catch prey to eat. Get to the point, please. But if they were to use these lace arrows, doesn't that mean there would be traces of poison left in the prey the hunters were going to eat? Yes, good point. So surely the hunters wouldn't want to eat their prey, would they? Because then they'd be eating poison. Good gracious, Council. That'll be madness. I actually found the answer to that conundrum in this research paper here. A special sentence says this. The poison starts to work after entering the body through a wound. Through a wound, you say? I see, that makes sense. Yes, the mention of particular details seems a little strange to me, though. But it all makes sense when you interpret what's written like this. When it enters the body through an open wound, it has terrifying poisonous effects. However, when it enters the body via the mouth, it has no poisonous effects whatsoever. What? Miss Brett, you authored this research. You knew Clark's special characteristics, and you knew they can make a spectacle of drinking that water without any danger to yourself. You meddling little rapscallion! Well, Miss Kate, turns out you're an even better lawyer than I thought you'd be. Really? Me? A lawyer? Oh, this poison talk is fascinating, I'm sure. But I fail to see how possibly... So, don't Brett, a little puppy, is a new toy to play with. Some facts you read in a book. But I'm afraid knowledge isn't so, you little boy. It only makes you look silly. What are you trying to say? Your schoolboyish logic has a fatal flaw. Schoolboyish flaw? As even your brain has managed to deduce, Cora is safe to ingest. It seems likely that its effects are neutralized by the acidic nature of the gastric succus. Oh yes, well, of course. Gastric suckers... Learn biology! So this lethal poison can be harmless when drunk. The professor wouldn't have died when he swallowed it, would he? That's right. Not gracious. Not exactly. That's basic science. Science that even schoolboys should be able to understand, no? Order! Order in court! Order! The logic holds. If the lady and the professor drank the same poison, it would be affected in the same way. Or are you trying to suggest... Yes, some poisons could be irrelevant to the treat. It's not relevant! That's right! Surely even a little calculator like you would understand something simple as that. What is this welling up inside me? I've never felt like this before. It's a sort of conviction to break down all discrepancies. So intense. Well, it's rage-like. And more than anything else, it's an animalistic desire to take down my prey.
Objection!
The point! His first point! I don't think so, Miss Jezebel Brett. How dare you use that tone with me? You know very well that there's no fatal flaw here. You know exactly why, even though both you and the victim swallowed the same poison. You are alive, but Dr. Wilson is dead. Counsel, I'm sure I don't need to remind you. You must provide compelling evidence. As we know now that the poison is completely harmless when ingested. Why would Dr. Wilson alone have been killed by the Kurar?
Drink that!
As Miss Brett so really pointed out, she drinks the same water as the professor. However, there is a fundamental and fatal difference between the two diners. A fatal difference? The toxic effects of Kurar are only felt when the poison enters the body through an open wound. So, for a healthy person with no injuries, drinking it is completely harmless. What? What if there was a wound inside the mouth of the person drinking the poisoned water? Inside? Yes. Like the wound you might have if you had just been to the dentist and had a tooth extracted, for example. Miss Brett, you've acknowledged many times your testimony already that you were well aware of Dr. Wilson's dental appointment that day. So that's it. Use that knowledge to orchestrate this. Is she laughing? I don't like to repeat myself, but honestly, I can't resist. These childish courtroom games and your half-baked arguments are also puerile. If I pronounce that wrong. What do you mean? Don't worry, little schoolboy. You'll find out soon enough. You see, when you leave vital evidence lying around, you never know what might happen to it. No! I mean, it could just slip. Oh dear, how careless of me. Destroying evidence should be illegal. I'm afraid some crucial evidence they've just been tragically destroyed. If this was a real court, she would be arrested on the spot. What just happened? It's the Englishwoman! She smashed that bottle! And the Supreme Court will tell a blunder. Officer, what are you waiting for? Click as much of the water from the broken bottle as possible all at once. You're wasting your time. This delightful carpet under my feet here was a gift from the British Empire. I assure you, it will soak up the water beautifully. You have neither technology nor the presence of mind to recover it. Freaking hate this woman. How could you? You won't get away with this! You can thump the bench and shout as much as you like, little boy. Well, I'm afraid we'll never know now, will we? If there really was poison in the bottle or not. And let's not forget, we still have some very compelling evidence left intact. Isn't that right, counsel for the prosecution? Oh, of course, of course! Frank's photograph print, I presume, dear lady. That's right, and really, looking at his photograph, it's as clear as day, isn't it? The poor professor was sitting and it was back to me. Of course, the only person who could have shot him from the front is the little schoolboy. No, he killed the victim that day, in Kurar. And then, in order to frame Mr. Naruhodo for the crime, you wait until he picked up the pistol you arranged for him on the floor, before you shot the professor's dead body in the chest with your own hidden gun. Then, in the confusion that followed, all you had to do was turn the dead professor and his chair around. You see, you had every opportunity to commit this crime. What a wonderful imagination you have, young man. A hidden gun, you say? And I shot the professor's dead body, did I? Well, I'm terribly sorry, but you don't have a shred of evidence. Yeah, but that's the only way it could have happened. As you have nothing to support your wall of claims, the prosecution's stance remains unchanged. Victim, Dr. H. Wilson, was killed by a gunshot to the chest. Delivered in cold blood by the accused, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. This is unbelievable. How can this be happening? He had her, but now, is she really going to get away with it? The way she destroyed the evidence was obscene. Okay. Yes, we've come this far, but now you're the only one who can finish it. What do you mean? That's a vital piece of evidence. It's true. So, if there are any clues left for us to use now, they must be in your head. My head? You told me before your powers of observation were the only thing you could really depend on. Oh yes, that's true, but I didn't manage to notice that this woman was a foreigner with a swan in her head. Think back again now. Try to remember every last detail about the scene that day. Everything you saw, everything you felt, every color, every smell! What I saw, what I felt. Every color. Dun 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 dun! Is Cosmo right? Somewhere in the vibrant memory of this same scene in my head, could there be another clue to expose the identity of Dr. Wilson's killer? Actually, Cosmo, I think I might have something. Thinking back over everything I saw, I think I might have covered another clue. You always have something up your sleeve, don't you, Ryunosuke? Come on then, let's wipe this smile off that angel's face with some evidence. Alright, I can't wait. It's been niggling me for a while that something feels amiss in my memories of that day. Whatever it is could be the key to arriving at the truth about all of this. Professor, answer me this. Yes, what is it? He's still miles away, probably thinking about that bottle being smashed. As you've said a number of times now, you strive for perfection in your investigation, don't you? Absolutely! However, therefore, if perhaps you took anything else from the scene of the crime, like for instance, the plate of steak that you took to the victim's table that day? Wait a minute! Where are you going with this, little boy? It's just a memory that's been troubling me. What memory? I saw the scene shown in the photograph print with my own eyes that day. And I saw that the wooden base of the plate that the steak served on was splattering of blood. What? Oh, really? What of it? Obviously, that must have happened when you shot the professor. No, I can't be the case. Take a good look at the photograph and the relative position of everything there. The plate of steak is almost directly behind the victim. If I'm supposed to have shot Douglas in the chest from the front, there's no way that blood from the victim could have ended up directly behind him. Yes. The blood to have made it onto the plate implies the plate was between the victim and the shooter. Which means the shooter must have been sitting opposite Professor as you were. Hello, Brett. I beg your pardon? This is beyond ridiculous. Fabricated nonsense. This court seriously expected to believe something the accused has apparently just remembered seeing. This could be the moment my entire career in the police force has been leading to. Inspector, you mean... Yes. I took the plate in the interest of preserving evidence from the scene of the crime. I took it, meat and all. I don't care if they call me a crime scene thief because of it. You did what?! I took the steak that you had been eating, Miss Brett. I took the steak that the sergeant had been eating. I did it all. In the name of justice! Then we can find out for sure whether or not there's a blood stain on Miss Brett's plate. Let's examine it, now! Inspector! Court wishes to examine the plate from the victim's table immediately. Sorry for the delay. That's not... There's not going to be blood in this one because... it is not... It's Brett's. Not impossible. Homecoming special, little boy. You see, this is why I always say you can't trust what Japanese tell you. I believe we may finally have reached a conclusion in this trial. Let's hope so. This let's pretend attempt at courtroom proceedings is painful to watch. I do promise to do my best to forget all about it when it's over. If I saw or thought I saw just a thing of my memory. No, because this is not Miss Brett's. This is not Miss Brett's steak. Huh? What roll is this? I think it's a Kuban coin. The hallmark is from the Holy Air, I believe. No, I don't. What's it doing there? Wait, did you say it was a Holy Kuban? Yes, and apart from the meat juice, this looks to be in good condition. Imagine it's very valuable. You're looking for swan, but I've never heard of bullion and bouillon. I don't think you ever will again. This means many things. This is it now. I've lost. Rusuke. It's not over yet. Not until the final gavel. Never stop believing in yourself. Never keep looking forward no matter what. You myself? Really? Maybe I should at least examine the evidence for myself. Evidence requested by defense has not been shown to be problematic in any way. So any further exam. Shocking truth. The only thing that's shocking here is your unhealthy fascination with beef steak. Excellency, I think I made myself clear, haven't I? I will not be able to turn a blind eye to any more unnecessary procrastination in this trial. I'm sorry, Miss Brett, but we must ensure a thorough examination of the evidence. I will not give a ruling until I'm completely satisfied that all reasonable doubt has been dispelled. See, as newly from ally of my country, that's still your position, isn't it? Thank you, Your Excellency. Now so for the defense. We just went through this.
Got it!
Good gracious, that's Ichabod? What on earth? And where I want at that. Miss Brett, this is in fact the beefsteak that you ordered at the restaurant that day in question, is it? Tell me, why is there an odd coin seemingly hidden underneath the meat? What is this question? How should I know? I've never seen that thing before in my life. I don't know what this is, but I want no part of it. I fail to see how this is relevant. A coin under the meat? A coin simply could have been a careless mistake by the chef in a moment of distraction. Don't be absurd. We're supposed to believe that this happened by accident in the kitchen? A rare holy command just happens to be hidden underneath that piece of steak. If this turns out to be irrelevant to the case, I'll rip up my ticket to Great Britain right now. Right. Can't be a coincidence. Silly. Yes, Counsel? A rare holy command just happens to be hidden underneath that piece of steak. Turns out to be the case. I'll give up my lawyer job. You don't even have a lawyer job! By all means, don't let stop you. No one invited you anyway. Perhaps, little boy, you should realize that this is you who's irrelevant. Even though I'm the one on trial here. Point is, it's essential that we ask the owner of this coin if he can explain what it's doing under that steak. The owner? Yes, it's obvious. There's only one person who it can belong to. The owner of the command that was found underneath the beef steak is... Obviously, it can only be the antique stealer and owner of Rasutai, Kurio Kurikuta-san. As in Mr. Cucumber or something? Oh, he's ridiculous Japanese names are quite inflammable. Ah, yes. The old man testified earlier along the military sergeant, correct? Yes, Your Excellency. Remember him saying that he was up to something. This would want to happen. Exactly the moment the gun was fired. I'll be reading all that. Even though... This is why Eric Bond. Do you mean tell me? No, please. Why would Kirk Bond be selling between the victim's beefsteak and its plate? It makes no sense. Which is why I'm asking to bring back the witness stand so we can ask him. Play. I can't believe we come back around to that pair again. I have a hunch, a strong hunch, that if we chase down the real significance of this Scoban, we'll find that's a key element in the case. What's it all about? Why have I been called up again? Don't you realize that it's dinner time for little baby Ido? When my son's belly is empty, he's fiercer than a pack of wolves! I am not sick. Just something in my... I promise I'm not sick. There's something in my throat. I promise, I'm not sick. Probably we don't have too much left anyway of this case. Exploited by the police, we were like miserable dogs, forced to bear false witness. And when cast from this courtroom, myself, I became a ruined man in a trice, worthless, withered antique. Nothing more, I have to say. The sun has set on this Resurtai shop owner's existence. Be that as it may, Kokusan, something has come to light that requires your clarification. As far as your Resurtai memory serves, have you ever seen this come on? What? Oh my god. It went to his foot. Yes, that's it! The one! The very one! The very exact one that is! Resplendent! Vindiferous holy treasures of my rusty bones managed to displace that fateful day. Can't be. I thought. Young man, enlighten this decrepit old fool. Put me out of my misery. Where? Where was my treasure? Where was it dropped? Oh, I'm not sure if it was dropped anywhere. We found your coin sandwiched between a beefsteak and its plate, soaking in seasoned meat juices. Sandwiched? Soaking? Seriously? This clearly couldn't have befallen there by accident, which means somebody must have hidden it there on purpose. Somebody concealed my holy treasure between a slab of meat and a metal plate? Who would do such a thing? Such an unconscionable thing. Excuse me. Can I say something? Yes, of course. Proceed, Inspector Hosonaga. I mentioned this earlier on the trial, but I was working undercover in a restaurant in order. Yes, we know. The high-class Western cuisine restaurant affects wealthy diners, including many foreigners. Recently, there's been a run of similarly executed thefts targeting the restaurant's rich clientele. A number of such incidents have been reported to the police bureau. Wicked crimes indeed. We wanted to nip the case in the bud quickly, especially so many foreigners being affected. That's why you were sent in Vancouver, is it? Yes. I took on the job of waiter at the restaurant in order to flush out the scandal. It seems likely that this Koban incident is the work of the same thief. So unbeknownst to us, there's a massive thief at work in the restaurant on a regular basis. The police was already seeing several crimes, it seems. I don't know about the master thief part, but the identity of the person who stole and hid person is all too clear. What? What? I think the court would like to hear that defense view on the matter. Tell us, who is the simple scoundrel who stole?
Take that!
This guy. Obviously, it can only be you. Sergeant Ayaso Nosa! What? How? How dare you? You monster! Monster! I stole that Koban, did I? On the Master Thief Old Carnival, am I? You're seriously accusing me of these crimes, cadet? It wasn't me, it was Ido! Ido's the mastermind behind it! Blaming your freaking child! You would push the blame of your crimes onto your old son, the innocent little baby. It's you who's a monster, Sergeant Nosa. Breakdown! I'm not reading that. I'm not reading that. Nippon Imperial Army Sergeant Aisa Nosa preparing to stand down in the Supreme Court. Sir. Is there anything now of the extraordinary low wages of the Nippon Imperial Army? Pesos it expects to keep our country safe? I understand the temporary increase in taxation owing to the recently ended conflicts remains in place. I've heard it's hard for lower-ranking soldiers to make a living, yes. All I want is to put a hot meal on the table for my son. That's why you're stealing things at the restaurant? The place is heaving with money. Every 3 days, I go there and do reconnaissance for a target. And I enjoy chomping my way through a good steak at the same time. Sounds like he doesn't bother with a knife and fork, which is warmly believable. And your target that day was the old man in Koban? Yes, sir. It was an easy mark. I slipped the coin into my pocket without any trouble at all. A veritable fan thief you are. I was all set to leave the stake. I was halfway through devouring when it happened. Yes, when the professor was shot, I knew that if the police conducted a search and found the coin in my pocket, I'd be finished. Idle too. So I hid the incriminating evidence as fast as I could, on the double. Slipped under the stake, hoping that I'd be able to rendezvous with it again at a later date. This is ridiculous. Perhaps you could carry on this absurd prattling in your own time? Well, Miss Brett. Of course, your lady, of course. Just how well, sure, there's no need to detain you any longer at all. May the esteemed gentleman please be excused, let us see. No! Indeed. The theft of the Koban was clearly portrayed by this baby Sal Sergeant. It would certainly appear to be unrelated to Dr. Wilson's murder. Of course it is. I clear up of me? The sheer nonsense of such idea astounds me. What nonsense is it? And it's for picking up your sig and biting into it without using a knife and fork? It's beyond nonsense. It's pure madness. Well, not exactly, but something she said jarred with me. Wait, this Brett. What is it now? I'm afraid, just one last time, there's something I'd like to ask you. I'd like to explain a contradiction in your parting words from just a few moments ago. What are you talking about? What contradiction? What is this? What nonsense is this? Well, what parting words are you talking about? Okay. Undeniable contradiction. Why is DC Evidence Council? This is evidence right here. I think it's the wrong one. Yeah, it is.
Take that!
Immediately after this occurred. What interesting is the stake that you can see on the Vexen's table. Yes, go on. More accurately, Your Excellency, the stake that was on the Vexen's table just before the Professor was killed. Now you're splitting hairs. That's true. Doesn't something on this stake strike you as very unnatural? Unnatural? What does you mean? Extremely obvious. Talk about the shape of the edge where it's been eaten. I see you've noticed it too, Miss Brett. No, it's not exactly. Just a few months ago, Miss Brett claimed no Englishman could even contemplate picking up a steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork. So she did. She's a fine gentlewoman herself. And take a good look at this steak, in particular the edge where it's been eaten. You see, there are clearly defined barbaric teeth marks there. It looks like Miss Brett has realized something. So, if the witness, as she claimed, wouldn't contemplate eating anything without using a knife and fork, there shouldn't be teeth marks in the steak at all. Rot. Perhaps the delightful Miss Brett was vastly hungry and couldn't help her. Why would she change her ways of eating? Oh, whatever you say, dear lady. As I said, I really must be leaving now. You're not going anywhere. Afternoon tea with the Minister of Justice cannot possibly wait any longer. Of course, of course. This will be over. Good night. Rest assured, I'm about to put this rookie in his place. Just leave everything to... I've heard enough. Your irritating little spectacled samurai relic. Of course. What's the matter, Miss Brett? Have we ruffled your feathers? Clearly. The witness knows what this means. She's realized the catastrophic implications these teeth marks in the steak have for her. You know where you're going with this? Yes. Now, at last, it's all come together. The mystery teeth marks in the steak that has been eaten with cutlery. The reason why the bloodstain I know I saw somehow seemed to have disappeared. And most importantly, the evidence that proves once and for all who shot Dr. Wilson that day. I accept all that these teeth marks in the steak are a little unnatural as a put it, Council. But what exactly are you suggesting it tells us? Everything, Your Excellency. Everything? Yes, I believe that these barbaric teeth marks in the steak here owes not to conclusive evidence in this case. Evidence that will prove beyond any doubt who shot Dr. Wilson. Conclusive evidence? How many times I heard that today? 5 times. You wouldn't know the meaning of the phrase! Typical Japanese empty threats! How can you be so sure? Oh, it's quite simple. If you really had such conclusive evidence, you have presented it to the court long ago. That's the only reason why you haven't. It's not in our possession. Actually, the evidence I'm talking about hasn't even brought before the court yet. Hasn't been... What? But just because it hasn't been shown yet, doesn't mean that evidence does not exist. That is absurd. This trial has run several hours already, and you say there's evidence yet to be brought forward? That can't be. I don't believe you have it. I don't, but there's someone who does have it. Someone in this very courtroom. And if what that person is willing to submit the evidence I'm referring to, it'll solve every remaining mystery about this case. Well, I have a feeling this will be the last request of the defense in this trial. Who possesses conclusive evidence that will reveal the truth about this whole affair? The answer is obvious. It's Inspector Hosonaga. What? I have it? Yes. You think I've been withholding conclusive evidence? That's ridiculous. And here comes the coffin again. No, I'm not saying that. Everyone's attention has been focused on this stake, the teeth marks. Yes. Now, earlier this afternoon, Sergeant Nosa told the court the following. I enjoy chomping my way through a good steak. As well as admitting to stealing a great coin, he told us he'd slipped it under the steak. You, what was it, cadet? I was a superior officer that's about to be arrested. Dr. Nosa, can you please confirm something for me? Was the stake that you put the coin under, in fact, your own stake? And shut! Affirmative! Of course! I might be a soldier in Imperial Coin's army, but still. I'm not brave enough to ask a foreign gentle lady if she'd mind me manhandling her meal to hide something in it. In other words, the stake that Detective Smith as evidence earlier was in fact Sergeant Nosa's meal. What? That makes no sense! That plate was taken from the victim's table! Yet the gentlewoman doesn't take bites out of her steak, nor did she have the opportunity to steal the coin. Of course I didn't steal it. Even suggest such a thing would be an affront to the entire British Empire! Well then, how do you explain this paradox? Exactly, surely you're not going to suggest that Sergeant switched the two stakes over. He actually did. You did switch the plates? Well, after it happened, when I saw a civilian had been murdered right in front of my eyes like that, I panicked. I said, I immediately lifted my stake and hid the coin underneath it. But then when the waiter announced he was an undercover policeman, I thought I had it. If he decided to investigate my slab of meat, that'd be it. He became my marching orders. So when the cadet here was arrested and taken off to the kitchen, I seized my chance. With military precision and timing, I switched my stake with the one on the foreign lady's table. What? You can't have. I never planned to do such a thing. It's called Operation Lightning Bolt. There's no time for strategic planning. It's do or die, I tell you. So yes, I did what had to be done. Unbelievable! However, fear not, Prosecutor-san. What now? I swear on the brass buttons on my uniform, that is all I did. Sir! Oh, you did? That's plenty, Sergeant!
Yes!
So, if Sergeant knows this much to play, it's over. It means he took Miss Brett's steak and the plate it was on back to his own table. Yes, that follows. Dr. Sanaga. Yes? Earlier in this trial, you told the court this. You said that you had not only taken Miss Brett's steak after the incident, but also the sergeant's. That preserved evidence, you had taken both. It doesn't even look like she's ripping on it. That's correct. Then please present it to the court now. The plate that was actually on the victim's table at the precise moment he was shot. What can that possibly tell us now? I mean, a cold slab of tough meat can't possibly have the slightest bearing on its taste. No, you're not wiggling away at this time, lady. I beg your pardon? Surely you're not that forgetful. Surely you remember the reason why the steak pan promise proves to be such a problem for you, no? You're the ones who decided it was a problem, not me. The reason the defendant asked to see the plate was to confirm something the defendant remembers seeing. Thinks he remembers? I'm quite sure of what I saw, Miss Brett. On the side of the plate that was on him directly behind Dr. Wilson, there was a clear splattering of blood from the gunshot wound to the victim's chest. I believe the defendant's memory serves him well. And now we have the evidence to prove it. The plate you're eating from, Miss Brett. Let us not prolong this any further. Inspector, we'll show the evidence to the court. Present the beef steak and plate that was originally on the victim's table at the time of the incident. Yes, sir! Sorry for keeping you. Here's the other steak and its plate. Please feel free to examine it. The blood stain. It's clearly visible, look! Now this makes everything clear. The blood you can see on the side of the plate shows that at the moment the victim was shot, he was facing the table with his back to me. In other words, it's impossible for Naruto-san to have shot the victim. Can't be. Only one person who could possibly have shot Dr. Wilson from the front. I'm sure everyone knows by now who that person is. That's right. Mr. O'Brett. It's you! Outdone by Japanese? Me? By Japanese schoolboy? No, no, no! The fact that the swan can just carry her around. Please excuse my little outburst. Briefly lost my composure. Most unbecoming behavior for an English gentlewoman. Forgive me. Well, Miss Brett, I think it's time you told the court what actually happened that day. The truth, this time. Gladly, I can see, as you can't. I know. It was I who took the professor's life, using Farrar. As you surmise, I chose a particular day for one very important reason. The professor had a dental appointment for distraction of one of his teeth in the morning. Oh, you tried to kill the professor, knowing that no trace of poison would be found in his water. The Farrar is unheard of here in Japan. Yes. Of course, I never intended to remain at the restaurant for as long as I did. I only needed to see the professor take one tiny sip of water and it would be all over. I would place the steak I had ordered in front of him, making it appear as though he had been dining alone, and leave immediately. However, before any of that happened, there was an unexpected visitor at the professor's table. That would be me, I suppose. Yes, you. Who else? Such a trifling matter, but the fact that you decided to come over to greet the professor meant that I had lost my chance to slip away unnoticed. In due course, the professor took a sip of his water and was paralyzed. Made sure he was sitting in his chair such that he wouldn't fall. There was no going back at that point, so I concocted a plan on the spur of the moment. I planned to pin Dr. Wilson's murder on this innocent man. I happened to know that the professor always carried a gun. I decided to use that fact to my advantage. I had the bottle of jar in my handbag, and my own pistol concealed under my skirt. Under your skirt? So I was right, there were two guns. Yes. And then I finished my coffee and got to leave. That's when I noticed the professor's gun, which you had presumably placed on the floor. Place where you were sure that I would notice it. And everything went according to plan. You noticed the gun as I intended. And then, just as he bent down to pick it up, bang. That's when you shot the professor with your own gun. Even though at that point he was already dead. Naturally, the gunshot caused a commotion, at which point the waiter appeared. Obviously, I noticed that Osan was culprit and apprehended him. I took him to the pantry that adjoins the kitchen and locked him inside. That's why I took the opportunity to turn the professor and his chair around. Because of course, you need to make it look like the defendant had shot Dr. Wilson from where he picked up the gun. So there you have it. That is the entirety of my misdemeanor. A little bit more than a misdemeanor. Excellency? Yes? I wonder, might I speak with you in private later? I shall call on you. Thank you. Good day then, everyone. Hope you can forgive me, Naruhodo-san. The theme trial finally run its course. I assume the prosecution is in agreement. This can't be. Katsuchi Ouchi does not lose. Not to elect this rookie student. You better start getting used to tough opposition. Urusuke Naruhodo. What? Yes? This insult to the Ouchi family name will never be forgotten. You've become conceited with age, Council, but the old have to stand aside and make way for the new. It's the way of the world. May you never forget that. Thousand millennia may pass, but still the Ouchi clan will never measure up to the Naruhodo clan. This trial in Supreme Court Japan will, I believe, go down in history as the start of a new chapter in our country's judicial system. Despite being summoned as the accused, you, Urusuke Naruhodo, presented an excellent case. Thank you, Excellency. The use of evidence and deduction to unravel the truth is a modern methodology. After all, it's only been a few short decades since our country opened its doors to the wider world. But Western ideas of science are rapidly gaining acceptance here. I feel sure that science will soon bring new methods of investigation and new procedures to justice. A new future of law awaits, but what will it look like? I cannot begin to imagine. That is for the young to pursue. Kazuma Sogi? Yes? After this trial, you are set to embark on a journey of discovery to the illustrious British Empire. Learn all you can. Observe everything of the wider world that you are able to. And do not forget to fulfill the mission imposed upon you. Said mission will be revealed at a much later date. I understand, Your Excellency. What was that about? Why do you look so grave all of a sudden? Never mind. As for you, Urusuke Naruhodo, oh, yes? In you, I sense, how can I put it, unusual potential. I very much look forward to seeing how you carry that onwards. Thank you, Your Excellency. It's time to deliver the final verdict. I hereby find the defendant, Urusuke Naruhodo, not guilty! Court is adjourned. I can't believe it. I can't believe what's happened. I made it. I defended myself and made it through the horrendous trial. Okay. Finally put off. Congratulations. Oh, I couldn't have done without you. Thank you, Kazuma. No. It was a pleasure to watch you at work. So you owe me an extra large sukiyaki from the place on Yuma University Street. Don't forget. Good afternoon. All your hard work has certainly paid off. Congratulations to both of you, providing Naruhodo-san's innocence. Trusty judicial assistant. Worked hard for that result, too, you know. Oh, no. I do it. Thank you so much. If we hadn't had that research report of Miss Breath, I don't know how things would have turned out. Kind words should really be for my father. I was simply doing as he asked. It was his idea for me to go to university and investigate. Your father? Yes, of course. There you are. I believe congratulations are in order. Naruhodo, you did an excellent job. Thank you, Professor. Oh no, it is I who should be thanking you, after all. Your efforts exposed the true criminal that took the life of my good friend. Good friend? Oh yes, you mentioned that before. It was you who actually invited Dr. Wilson to Yuma University, wasn't it? Yes, that's right. Professor Migatoba studied overseas himself. He went to study forensic medicine in Great Britain a very long time ago. Truly, that's when you met Dr. Wilson? Exactly. In those days, we worked together in the same hospital. Oh, worked together? I've never heard you mention him before. Well, it was a long time ago. Besides, it was your turn, Sogi. Great Britain is a magnificent country. It leads the world in science, medicine, engineering, culture, of course, and law. Watch and learn, my boy. See what's happening in the world's largest melting pot. I will. I'll learn all that I can. I swear on this, the spirit of the Asogi clan. Not taking that sort of Great Britain, are you? Of course I am! Japanese man's katana is his soul! This blade shows me where I need to go. And this cuts down anything that's in my way. Yes, I've definitely seen how sharp it is already with my own eyes. That reminds me, what's happened to the woman? Giselle Brett, I mean? After all, she's guilty of murder. Yes, her. It's not easy to tell you this, but... What do you mean? Surely she's going to face trial herself now. She's the true culprit after all. She will be leaving Japan in the very near future. For Shanghai. What? Shanghai? Giselle Brett will not appear in court again in this country. I'm certain of that. What? Why not? A matter of consular jurisdiction. Inspector Kusunaga! There's a hard-fought battle in the courtroom today. Very impressive to watch. What's all this about consular jurisdiction? We cannot try this particular foreigner for her crimes here in Japan. I think back in those days, the Japanese had swords on their side, usually for self-defense. That is truly a fun fact. What? We can't try her? But then, Who's gonna bring her to justice? A British consular court will hear her case, somewhere far away where our voices can't be heard. But why a consular court? Professor, I simply don't understand. I thought consular courts were a thing of the past now that we signed the Friendship Treaty. Yes, in Northland sense, you're right. And so long as this is not a serious incident of a highly political nature to our respective governments, they can't invoke a consular court just like that. Oh, can't they? Yes. She's a student, but it doesn't justify our government making secret agreements about her fate, does it? Something strange is going on. So Miss Brett can't be held accountable for her actions here in Japan. I'm afraid that for the young student, today's trial was nothing more than a game all along. There's never any danger of comeuppance for her. I don't believe it. The British government's Foreign Affairs Ministry has demanded that we hand over custody of Miss Brett. We're obviously taking this case of foreign student criminal very seriously. But it's all going to change from now on. We can make it change. This is a time of great turmoil, this new era heralded by the start of the 20th century. One day, I have no doubt, that woman will see the judgment she deserves. Yes, change is coming, and we're the ones driving it. Well, I think that's enough seriousness for now. This evening calls for a celebration drink. Professor! You're right. This is no time for gloomy faces. We should be celebrating Ryusuke's not guilty verdict. Let's start having some fun. In that case, might I suggest the Carnival? As a head waiter, I should be delighted to provide you with ample food and drink. You're a detective, Hosonaga, aren't you? Let's not worry about details for now. The Carnival! Will you accompany us, Professor? Of course, the Carnival's food is second to none. I shall go and attend to the paperwork on our Horizon's release. Oh, yes. Thank you. The Jezebel Brett won't be tried here. I suppose that means I'll never know. I'll never find out why she killed Dr. Wilson. There is a reason why. Just that we won't find out the reasoning why for a long while. Kazuma. Yes, Ryusuke? I just wanted to say thanks again. That's all. You really saved my skin today. I didn't do a thing. You were the lawyer in there, weren't you? That defense is all your own work. Your skills made a difference, though. One day, I bet you'll be the best lawyer in the world. I'm not so sure about that. To be honest, something kept occurring to me over and over again during that trial. I couldn't help thinking that maybe you're the one destined to become a great lawyer, not me. What? Come on, be serious! If I helped you today, it was only right at the very start of the trial. Well, you have a natural talent for it. For being a defense lawyer, I mean. That might just be because of his descendant. Oh no, not me! All that tense verbal combat? I never want to go through that ever again. Well, too bad, you don't have a choice. I just did what you told me to do, that's all. Because I know I could trust you. That's the point. Sorry? What do you mean, that's the point? Listen, Ryusuke. Do you know what the most crucial weapon is that any lawyer needs in order to win? Knowledge of the law? Well, sure. But faith. No. The ability to believe. Believe in yourself. Believe in your evidence. Believe in your client. Believe? Believe what? A defense lawyer has to fight for his clients. He has to believe in them at all times. That belief can be quite harmful at times. Like you believed in me when I said I didn't do it? I'm human, just like you. I don't have some superhuman ability to know the truth. But you have to make a choice about what to believe in and to stick to it when you're defending someone. Sometimes, in the courtroom, you can really be backed into a corner. But being able to remain faithful to what you choose to believe in, even then, well, that's not something that anyone can do. It takes a special kind of person. Believing in your client. Just look at today's trial. I'm a student lawyer with precious little real experience, but you never stopped believing in me. Why? You face seemingly hopeless situations time and again, but you never stopped looking for the truth. And in the end, you found it through your own efforts, because you never stopped believing in me. Thanks, Kazuma. There's something I want to ask you, actually, Ryusuke. Well, it's a favor, really. Something very important to me. Sounds serious. What is... Alright, still here, are you? Oh, Inspector Hosonaga. I arranged some rickshaws for us. Let's go! Thank you. We'll be right there. Let's pick up this conversation again later. We should be celebrating right now. First court victory. And your study tour to Great Britain, don't forget. Ah, yes, that too. So, my very first trial came to an end. Kazuma, Professor Mikotoba, Sato-san acted as my assistant. Inspector Hosonaga, who didn't really play much of a part, but still. It was because of the help and support of these people that I managed to get through that trial. But more importantly, Kazuma hadn't yet managed to ask his favor of me. Little did I realize just how much it would change my life. And that will do it. Yeah, streams are, next stream will probably be on Thursday. I'll be getting home too late to do one tomorrow. And I do have business Thursday morning, but I should be back in time for a 2 p.m. stream. So, thank you for coming, and have a good night.